Welcome to Real People, Real Voices. I'm your host, James Jackson.
I'm your co-host, Pastor Wayne Moore.
Always a pleasure to host with you.
It is, my friend. You're looking good.
Likewise.
Yeah, I like your beard. I really do.
We got twin beards
Yes,
here.
we do, and twin bald heads.
True. We'll have a great show today.
We do have a great show. Let's recognize our sponsor.
Lee Kossel and Crawley.
Yeah, they're here with us. Fervent Prayer Christian Academy, a great place to get your children started in academics.
Yeah, if you're looking for Christian, clean, caring, and convenient child care, give them a call, 317-898-2751.
And the Up and Over.
Yeah, that's going to be happening first Saturday in December.
In December, we need to push that throughout the city of Indianapolis. We hope that you'll be a part of it. Our goal is $300,000 to help Martin University, who has been in this community for over 40 years. We want to do what we can to keep it alive.
Yeah, we need your help, and we need you to be there.
Yeah.
So come on out at the Martin University here in beautiful Indianapolis.
Yeah.
And the telecast will begin, the live telecast will begin at 12 noon. And the door's going to be open no later than 11 o'clock a.m.
Yeah.
We also want to encourage you to go to YouTube and become a subscriber for this show. You can watch this show as well as others that you might have missed.
Yeah, and you can go to Facebook as well.
Yeah.
And we're on Facebook. We're in every aspect of media to try to get real people, real voices throughout the community to be lucrative in the ears of people who hear us.
Yeah, and the great thing about that is there's information that people need.
Yeah.
And you can just go through there and you can stop it.
Just like the next show.
Yeah.
The next show we're getting ready to have.
Yeah.
There'll be some good information for seniors, I believe.
And, for seniors, and if you want to start a business, you don't want to miss this part of the show. We'll be back after this. Welcome back. I want to get right to our guest. He is the chairman of Anderson SCORE.
Yeah.
Yes.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. I am really thrilled to be here.
Yeah, Mr. Dwayne Landwehr.
Very good. Very good. You get an A for today.
Thank you.
So talk to us about SCORE. It's not just in Anderson, but it's a national initiative.
SCORE actually is a national organization. There are over 11,000 volunteers across the nation and 300 different chapters. We are one of those chapters. Indianapolis has a chapter. I believe the state of Indiana has about 8 chapters. But Anderson is one of those. Throughout the nation last year, just to give you an idea of what SCORE does, we helped over 54,000 businesses get started. So we see our task as helping entrepreneurs try to get their business started, or if they're already in business, they may have an issue with taxes or cash flow, or trying to figure out whether they should expand their business or to open up another building and so forth. We have experts that have been down that road in the past, and they can help with those kinds of questions. So we help all kinds of businesses, both for-profit and not-for-profit businesses. We help people who have, like I said, have an idea and perhaps they want to start a business, or they may have been in this business now for 40 years and are thinking about exiting the business. So we can even help up to that point. So the whole lifespan of the business cycle we can help with.
So talk about some of the impact that you all have had around the nation with regard to what you do.
We've helped, in this past year, we've helped over 54,000 businesses to get started. Those businesses created about 65,000 jobs. Interestingly, all of us are volunteers, and the services we provide are free to our clients. So the little bit of money that is put into helping us at SCORE is returned 47 times to the U.S. Treasury. Every dollar that comes to SCORE in the form of assistance from the U.S. Congress gets returned to the Treasury 47 times with $47 in taxes.
Wow.
So what we do is provide one-on-one mentoring to clients. We also have workshops on a variety of different topics dealing with everything from starting a business to obtaining financing, helping with human relations, questions, and those kinds of things. Everything up to exiting a business. And like I said, the assistance we provide is all free. We're all volunteers that have been there and done that. We've all had businesses of our own. We have manufacturing people, bankers, CPAs, retail people, marketing people. So if I don't know the answers to your questions, I have a resource available to me with those 11,000 volunteers that
will help facilitate that.
That will help facilitate that. That's very right.
That's great.
That's very right.
So, Dwayne, when you talk about, we understand starting a business, and what you all do is interesting and really has captured my attention, exiting a business. It would seem that most people just stop, but there's a way to exit a business. Talk about that a little bit.
That is one of the sad commentaries about, especially in small town USA, when a person puts their life savings and their life's work into a business, and then when they get to the point when they are ready to retire, okay, and they think, okay, now it's time to sell my business or whatever, and they look around and you think, who's going to buy this business? Well, then it's too late. So what we do is try to counsel people a few years before they're ready to exit that business.
Like a retirement.
Like a retirement, exactly. So you've invested all this money and time in this resource, which is an asset for you. But at the end of that, the life of that business, when it's time to close, if there's no buyer, that asset becomes a liability. So we try to help that person find a new buyer, perhaps train a person to bring them up through the business that they may want to invest in the business when the current owner is ready to sell. One of the things we need that perhaps your listeners can help us with, in our chapter, we have 18 volunteers. And this past year, we've helped over about 125 people in their businesses. We could use some more volunteers. And it would be great if we could find some other people with passion about economic development and businesses to also serve as volunteers. Get on score.org and you can find a menu pick there to select and become a volunteer.
So what would be an expectation of a volunteer with regard to time, that sort of thing?
So a volunteer, if a volunteer is going to be a mentor, we would like to see that person put in 4 or 5 hours a month.
Oh,
Not bad.
That's reasonable.
It's not any more than you would put into a golf game. Let's put it that way.
Or fishing trip.
Or a fishing trip, exactly right.
Yeah. So for people who are wanting to volunteer, you can certainly you can go to the website there. And for people who might need services, how would they qualify? Almost
anyone qualifies. We don't exclude anyone regardless of the kind of business. It has to be a legal business, but other than that, anyone can apply. And you go to the same website, score.org, and there will be a menu pick right at the top of the page that says Find a Mentor. You click on Find a Mentor, enter your information, and it comes to us. And it's based on zip code. So if you're in our area, our service area, and we service most of East Central Indiana, everything from our current reach is about from Kokomo to Richmond. So most of East Central Indiana. If your zip code is in that area, you'll come to our chapter. If you're in Hamilton County or Marion County, there's an Indianapolis chapter that you would go to.
Oh, good. So if you're looking to start a business, score.org, score.
Or make your business healthy again.
Or get out of it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or get out of it.
Have a good exit strategy.
Yeah, that's good. I'm really we're really grateful that you shared this with us, because it's not just how to start a business, but also how to end one.
And sustain one.
And sustain one.
Yeah. Thank you. You've been a great guest.
Thank you very much.
We appreciate you so much.
I'm really happy to have been here.
Thank you.
We're
Thank
happy
you.
that you came, and we want you all to stay with us. We've got much more to come. We'll be back after this. Welcome back to Real People, Real Voices. I'm your host, James Jackson.
I'm your co-host, Pastor Wayne Moore.
And we're joined by Mr. Rob Spaulding,
Thank you.
Executive Director for the Christian Center.
That's correct.
So tell us about the Christian Center.
The Christian Center, we're located in Anderson, Indiana. We are the only emergency men's shelter.
Men's shelter.
Yes, so we're a men's shelter. And we're the only community dining room. So we're the only soup kitchen in Madison County. And we'll serve about 100,000 meals a year.
That's quite a few
Wow.
meals.
Yeah, it is.
The only soup kitchen in Madison?
That's correct. There is a local church or two may have a meal a week, but we serve 365 days a year. Every day, we serve every day.
Wow.
And we serve breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Wow.
Yeah.
And this is a nonprofit?
It's a nonprofit. The Christian Center was founded in 1955, and we've been a men's shelter and soup kitchen pretty much ever since.
So what are some of the other things? Because homelessness, poverty, all those kinds of things, you all provide solutions. So let's talk about some of the solutions that you all have there at the Christian Center.
Well, in our men's shelter, one of the things that we discover is really important is to have a plan. When somebody arrives at our door and they're homeless, it's to begin developing a plan on what made them homeless and how do we address those issues, as opposed to just being a flop house or just a place to warehouse people. How do we begin addressing those issues? So for us, it may be someone's dealing with an addiction. It may be they don't have job skills. It may be a lot of things. And what we do is we plug them in. We partner with
wraparound services?
Yeah, we work with partnering with several other agencies and organizations, and we begin doing some problem solving. And some of that is just job training. I mean, we try to build in a job training component into everything that we do.
And that's important. Have you all seen some of those skills that you've been able to impart to these men end up with them getting jobs?
Absolutely. You know, one of the things in our dining room, the guys that may be assigned to work in the kitchen, they have access to serve-safe training, to culinary arts training, things like that, which makes them very employable once they're ready to move on. We also try to tackle just some rudimentary needs. You know, we'll have people come to us and they don't know how to prepare a meal. They don't know how to balance a checkbook or a debit account. And what we do is we work on those life skills that make them not just more employable at some level, but also makes them easier or more prepared to survive past homelessness.
Yeah, and this is something I'm sure that's very, very important during the winter months. Do you see an increase in men coming?
Yes, we do. We do see an increase. I think that in our community we have an ample a number of beds. It's just are men ready to be compliant in the things that they need to be in those shelters? Because in our shelter, for example, you can't use drugs while being in our shelter. We're a faith-based organization, but we also know that by part of you're never going to deal with the big problems without dealing with things like that immediately. So that's one of the things that we do. And some people often choose, or not often, but sometimes choose to not leave their addiction behind, and until such a time that they're willing to do that, that's really kind of where the healing begins.
You say over 100,000 a year?
100,000 meals served a year.
What is the overhead for that type of ministry?
Oh, wow. Our overall budget's about $600,000. That includes the shelter and the soup kitchen. We're blessed that we have a community that's very generous in terms of donating food and resources.
So you have
to help with
fundraisers?
We do, yeah. But because we're faith-based, we don't have access to a lot of government money, so we really need the generosity of people. God is good and people are generous, and those are the things that we need to really make this happen. But we're seeing this number grow about 6,000 to 7,000 a year in the number of meals that we're serving. The number of meals that we're serving. And I think that's really, I think what's important in there is that I'm not sure there's a lot more people who are hungry. I think more people are receiving the services that were hungry already, but just didn't have the resources to meet those needs. And now they're discovering those, and we're trying to reach out into the community in different parts of our community to make sure those needs are being addressed.
It's phenomenal.
So is your organization an organization where churches in close proximity to it can refer people
Absolutely.
to come?
Yes, and all over the county, actually, people refer to it. One of our departments is called, it's a community assistance department, and there we have families can come in and get hygiene products and clothing vouchers, and during the winter we'll give out hundreds of coats and 1,000 hats and scarves and things like this. And on a typical year, we may raise and then distribute 5,000 or 6,000 pairs of socks into our community as well. So there's a lot that goes through there, about 45,000 items altogether, and they can get a voucher and they can go over to our retail outlet and pick out the clothes they want. We just don't dump clothes on them. They get to pick out the clothes they want.
That's phenomenal.
Yeah, it sounds
How many
fantastic.
beds do you have?
70 beds.
And
Yes.
you're crowded now.
We are about 65 right now, and by January, we'll be full. So, but we have air mattresses, we have other things that we do
And
to
other vehicles
accommodate.
to make sure people can get off the streets in the
Yeah,
winter.
man, we don't want people living on the street. We can avoid it.
So how can the community help?
One thing, we always covet the prayers of believers. I think that's very important. We can always use donations, both financial donations, donations of food, things like that. People just clean out their closets. We have our retail outlet is a warehouse that also makes available reasonably priced furniture and things like that. So we take all those donations as well.
Okay.
This time of year, financial donations are excellent and very much needed.
So is that something where people would just go to thechristiancenter.org?
thechristiancenter.org, or they could call us at 765-649-4264 in Anderson.
Give that number again, right there.
765-649-4264. And somebody there will take good care of you.
So you guys have any plans for expansion or?
Well, right now we have, in the last 2.5 years, we've doubled our footprint, our ministry footprint. We have added a Sunday morning service with a local pastor has begun ministering there. We have got our job training. We've got a lot of other things. And right now we have, one of the things we're looking at doing is a thing that we're calling the Elios Center. Elios is Greek for mercy and compassion. And this is a center we'd like to open sometime, ideally next spring or summer. And what it would do is deal directly with the needs of people who live on the street. So it would allow them a place to shower and wash their clothing, ideally receive services. We discovered that many people in that population will not show up for counseling visits and things like that because of the proximity, but they come to our campus to eat and to receive clothing and spiritual development. We use our chapel to do flu clinics and things like that. So those people are kind of coming to our neighborhood anyway. And we just think that we can improve their health as well, not just through better hygiene, but also through access to doctors or counselors, things like that on our campus.
It's phenomenal.
Well, Mr. Spaulding, thank you.
Thank you
all
for
the
having me.
information. You've been a great guest. All the best to what you all are doing. We're praying for your success.
I appreciate it, man.
God bless you.
God bless you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, Pastor.
And we want you to stay with us. That's a tongue twister there. Stay with us. We got a rundown coming
Yeah, we
up
got a
next.
rundown coming. Stick with us.
We'll be back after this. Well, welcome back to Real People, Real Voices, and what an incredible 2 segments.
Yes, it was. I mean, when we hear what some people are doing around not only Indianapolis, but in the Anderson area.
Yeah.
We're reaching all the way in Anderson, Indiana now with Dwayne and what he does with SCORE. And then we have Rob, I believe, what he has with the Christian ministry there.
Yeah.
Over 100,000 meals.
Meals a year.
A year. 75 beds, wraparound services are involved. That's what ministry is all about. They've been around since the mid-50s, and we continue God's blessings on that ministry there in Anderson.
Yeah. You know, Sherry, Mr. Spaulding indicated it's increased 6,000 to 7,000 meals a year.
Yeah.
Are you seeing something going on in Anderson with regard to poverty where there's not a change where it can be pushed back in the other direction?
I think we have had an increase in poverty, and also the area where the Christian Center is located is also a food desert as well, and so there's not adequate shopping for fresh fruits and vegetables, and even some of those household items that you would buy for a daily meal. And so yes, there is an increased need there, and that's something that as a community we're working on.
And unemployment rate is kind of rough in Anderson, isn't it?
Our unemployment rate has been steady, and so the thing with Anderson, and I think like what we'll find across the United States, is finding the right people for the right jobs. So we have jobs open and available there in the community, but it's the skill set that's needed for those to be employed at those jobs. So that's creating a barrier there as well.
And he also mentioned there at the Christian Center that they do prepare people for job situations, and that's phenomenal. That's needed in our city, not only in Indianapolis, but in Anderson, to help prepare people to go into the employment field once again. You know, some people are coming out with less skills, and then other jobs are demanding more skills.
Right.
So it's good that they're doing that.
And the SCORE organization, I thought it was interesting that they not only prepare you to start a business, but to exit one.
And to sustain one.
Yeah. Most people don't think about that. So we want you to stay with us. We've got just a little bit more time left on this show here. I guess you would be staying with us. But we thank you for sharing with us and being with us. Go to YouTube and become a subscriber. Also go on Facebook and like us on Facebook. I want to thank our sponsors.
Yes, Lee Cossack and Crawley and Fervent Care Christian Academy, and the Up and Over, which is December 1 at the Martin University. The telethon that's going to be taking place, WHMB TV. Real People, Real Voices will be there making sure we raise some resources for that college.
Yeah, so we're going to do that, and we're looking forward to you helping us to do it. Thank you for being on the show with us today. We'll see you next time.